Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So you logged into Ascension, you hit level 60, and you realize you gotta farm a lot of cards in order to get your preferred build going, or at least the start of a build. You farm these cards, you make a lot of alts, you get all the marks of Ascension to get the cards. Then you look around and you choose a build, right? Once you've chosen the build, you prestige a bunch of times to have a decently rolled version of it. You don't want it to have the first try if it has just like a bad roll. After you've done this, you're left with the final big task to gain the most of your player power. Actually, most of your player power will come from this, and that is scroll farming. And when it comes to scroll farming, that is Manastorm 1 to 51, different variants, duos, trios, whatever is your preferred variant. So today's video is basically going to be how to fully min-max doing Manastorm 1 to 51, every single possible aspect I can think of, from movement abilities, what consumables, all the different cuts and shortcuts that I can think of, and we'll see. We'll just go through it. If I miss anything, obviously I am bound to miss something. Please feel free to leave a comment. Let's be a big happy community. Alrighty, where shall we start? Obviously, before you even go into Manastorm, you're going to need to come here to Cogsworth. He sells you a bunch of consumables that increase your power in Manastorm. The currency you need is Bonzo Bolt, which incidentally you get from farming Manastorm. So the first couple of times you go in is not going to be so great, but you then gain more and more things. And first you're gonna definitely want to buy the flasks on the second page. These give you magic resist, spell damage, health, attack power. All of them are super good. Then you want something that increases it's like a CD, basically increases your power on demand. If you're playing intellect main stat, you get this. Spirit main stat, you get this. Agility, you get this. This is for threat generation, you don't need it. And if you're playing strength, you get this one. You definitely want this clutch item, leveling in Manastorm, but once you have a kind of optimized build, you don't truly need it. But I've seen a lot of people not be aware of this item's existence. I have it keybound here on Y. It is basically an AoE stun, which is huge. If you're having a lot of pressure from a lot of mobs on you, you can disrupt them like this and give you a little bit more time for your health pot to come back. And it also does really good damage while leveling, especially if you have fire modifiers. It probably does insane damage at level 60 as well if you're full fire modifiers. Alright, you need the sprint serum, the most clutch item. It gives you 50% movement speed for 15 seconds, and we will talk later about how you should use this optimally. This I don't use interrupt rod. If you have a kick, you're good. But motion lotion is essentially a better freedom. It makes you immune to stun and movement impairing. You're going to want to use this when you see mobs that can potentially slow you down. We will talk also about the mobs actually. Okay, let me see what else when you talk about shortcuts, mob types, best levels, when to use mobility. Okay, we'll think of more on the way. Better freedom, Manastorm curling removes poisons. There are no dangerous poisons in 1 to 51 really. Purification is very important. There is one dangerous curse in Scarlet Monastery Graveyard. It gives you 75% healing reduction. And if you have a spawn point that starts all the way in the back, you're going to gather some mobs on the way to the boss. So there's going to be quite a bit of pressure on you. So you might want to remove that curse. Purge-O-Matic. I haven't found the use for this. And the cleanse. Oh, is basically this one, but it keeps removing every 5 seconds. That's pretty good. You've entered Manastorm. Great. First thing you want to do is use your pots. Make sure you have all your buffs going. You gotta rebuff your things. And then you're faced with a decision of what movement ability to use first. Obviously, if you have speed, you just use speed. It's not that deep. If you have more things, at least at the start, you won't be so certain which one you should press. After you spam with the same build a shit ton of Manastorm, you will have memorized every single spawn point and exactly which ability to use when, depending on mobs, depending on location, depending on if the last level was a long one or if it was a short one, and so on. But let's keep in mind some basic principles. Okay, I think one of the most important things that people might miss out on is how to actually use the Manastorm speed pot. Okay, the buff granted by the speed pot carries on from level to level. So if I were not to use it at this level, as you will see, it will remain on to the next level. What does this mean? It means that you don't want to use it on short levels. You want to keep it. This level was very short. The only thing I should have done was press Burning Rush. As I get to the boss, I kill it, and right before I go into the portal, I press 6 and I go in super fast. Now I'm into the next level, already moving at 50% for 10 more seconds. I'm also tracking it here. We call it Zoom Zoom. And this is a huge gain, because now, let's assume you have no other ability, no other movement, no other Burning Rush, no other sprint. You just use the pot again. This is the beauty of the carrying on buffs. Thank you devs for adding this in. You should also make carry on boons. The carry on boons would be sick if I could just carry my boons for the entire session, and whenever I choose to use my boon, I use it. Okay, here you can do this trick with any other movement ability. What I have on V is a macro that procs all my available abilities. Oh, it automatically transported it. Okay. Getting to the level, I did not have, because the previous one was a long one, so I did not have speed. So I just use speed again. In my case, when speed runs out, you should also be charging every single mob, but we'll talk about charge in a moment. When speed runs out, in my case, I have Burning Rush. And because I have Blink as well, I'm going to use it just to gain maximum power. Okay, I press V. I only have Sprint left. The reason Sprint is an S tier mobility is because on short levels, it allows you to get to the boss insanely fast, and you can just keep it carrying on from level to level. See there, I use my Burning Rush. So one of the main principles you want to be doing is, on this short level I have speed running from the previous one, so I don't need to use absolutely anything. I just walk up to the boss real fast, I kill it, and even though I have the buff running, I refresh it, so it's back on 15 seconds, going on. Once again, a short level. Okay, one of the principles, before I forget, that I wanted to mention was that you really want to save this speed pot trick. Speed pot and sprint, obviously, I would say are by far the best. Now I'll use my macro and it will proc all 3 of my movement abilities. This one I have just in case they slow me down. I blink in, I know where the boss is, I target it, I pop my CDs, one-shot it. Once again, I refresh all 3 of my buffs. Okay. When there's long levels, I will be talking, I guess we can just do that. My point is, you really want to use any other available movement ability besides speed and save it. Now I'm going to use Burning Rush and save it in order to have speed going on into the next level. The Manastorm speed is the best movement ability in game. It is the most, I would say, the safest movement ability in game. 15 seconds at 50% speed is huge. As you go into Manastorm, you are granted 3 items. One is a endless Manastorm potion. We should actually talk about how to use this. This is a very important one. One is a res for a mate. You don't really need that one. It is unless you have friends, obviously, then maybe you might want to resurrect your friends. Up to you. Health management. I think that is pretty important. As you go, if you don't have a very strong build, or if you're going higher levels, you might find that the mobs do a lot of damage, in which case you want to spam your potion 25% health on cooldown. When you get to the boss, you do not want to AoE the mobs if you can. Reason being is because they will proc various effects, various affixes as you move up, if you move up, but even at lower levels they might proc Bloodstorm, which is dangerous. We should visit the affixes actually. Want to use mobility. For 1 to 51, which is the best scroll farm, I repeat, you just need to keep in mind that there will be bloodstorms, and the bloodstorm will do a lot of damage. You can, in 1 to 51, nullify most affixes simply by continuing to move. Just never stand still. That is the principle. You do not, like, if you really want to go fast, you don't even want to heal yourself unless you need it. It is better to be walking around and picking up little hearts that you see. You gain more time like that. I'm not even trying to AoE the mobs. You want to AoE down the mobs to a level that you will comfortably survive. Like you don't have to always press the pot. Once you have like a comfortable level, obviously if you have too many mobs, you have to kill them, otherwise you die. Here I should just spot. We don't talk about how close that was. It was all planned, of course. Oh, you also, as affixes, have these storms, I guess, which are kind of annoying because they pull you. They could pull you into mobs, or they could pull you into a bloodstorm. So let's note those down. Bloodstorm, tornadoes. I think those are the most annoying. The rest you can just get by without even, or just by moving, like permanently moving around.
I need to get closer.
Very important, Millhouse magical escape. Okay, the cool thing about Millhouse magical escape is that it allows you to remove absolutely everything. So this one, normally I save as my "oh I fucked up" button, because you can, once you know the map layouts, you can mostly use motion lotion to prevent stuns. Here, troopers don't stun, but there could be paladins that stun, the Praetorians I guess they're called. So I'm gonna preventively use motion lotion. So this one I keep it as my "oh I fucked up" button and I need to get out now. A lot of like random mobs might have stun locks or silences if you're a caster that you might need to take care of. Here we have a lot of mobs. Oh, I don't have my macro, let's see. Bomb. I can demonstrate how good it is. Let's see. 2k damage and it also procs my thing. It is decent, I would say. I don't have I have shadow modifier, so I don't have a lot of fire. But the stun is the important part. If I gathered all those mobs and I was in danger, I could have used the stun to prevent death. Let's say it could have saved my life. You never know. Alrighty. We went over how to use speed. We went over how to use charge. As soon as you spawn, you want to get charge on cooldown. You want to use all your movement abilities as soon as possible. Another important thing I want to mention is cutting corners and knowing when you can skip certain things. Let's see if we get a level. Okay, here, if you have demonic leap, you can jump over this. I will talk actually. I'll put all the shortcuts that we encounter as well. A very important principle I feel like is cutting corners. So something you have to be really aware of. Here, for example, I have heroic leap, so coming up I can just go like that instead of having to go around and around. Also the same if you really want to respect, I guess the law and walk on stairs, that is cool, but obviously you should parkour as much as possible. Parkour, parkour, parkour.
Parkour! Michael, parkour!
Once again, cutting corners. As you come here, you want to be as close to the inner circle as possible, okay? You don't want to be walking... Let me kill these mobs so they leave us alone. Okay, if you're walking like this is time lost. You want to be walking on the inner layer of any stairs, any circular kind of thing. See, as much on the inner layer as possible. Here, I need to go to the left now. So instead of, I don't know, going like this, which is again is time waste, you want to go diagonally. You want to really think of fully optimizing your movement at all times. Entering the building, you go left, you have to go, because you have to go left. And again left. And you charge the boss. Okay, something very obvious, I don't know if it's clear, but you have to ideally have nameplates turned on. Oh, on this level, big tip on this level, you can mount. These mobs that are non-native to the dungeon, don't knock you out of your mount. But this mob, because it's a Zul'Farrak mob, it was born here, I guess, it will knock me off my mount. You can see. If once we get to higher levels, I will like demonstrate this with the non-native mobs. Those guys you want to. Okay, the optimal solution is when you spawn into the level, you mount on your mount, obviously, and rush as soon as possible. That patrol will be here. If those two mobs are non-native, you can stay mounted. This happens at higher levels. If one of those two mobs is native, you want to dismount and charge it. Now let's think that that scarab was the patrol.
I'm out of
You
there.
charge it, and then you just want to carry on activating your speed and carry on running with whatever abilities you have available to you. Okay. Let's see what else we have on the list. Shortcuts, we did mob types. This is a good one. Okay. If you're hard farming scrolls, you're going to be doing 1 to 51. So you're not going to be encountering any particularly strong mob, but there are some annoying mobs. The most annoying mob, if we meet it, I will point it out, in my opinion, is the Crypt Beast. But this is a mob that is from Stratholme, I think. Yeah, from Stratholme. And the reason it's annoying is because as you go past it, it has a drag back. It is like flesh hook, it has flesh hook, and it hooks you in. There I should have used preemptively lotion motion to prevent even getting slowed for that fraction of a second. You really want to think and optimize every single second. If you're farming, if you're gonna really want to get player power and farm a lot of hours, every single second on every single level is super important. When to use mobility, best levels. Here, if you have Demonic Leap, you can jump from here. I really wish I had... Oh, wait, maybe I can. Can I change? Oh, yes, I can. Wonderful. Demonic Leap here. Demonic Leap, this is the reason why Demonic Leap is often the best movement ability. As you cut corners, you can jump here, angle, go here. I even did it backwards. You can like quite bad. You can probably land all the way over here. I think I landed here. By the way, like every single yard, every single meter, depending on what metric system you use, or if you are special, every single meter counts. I love you Americans. I'm kidding. Don't hate on me. Okay. These are the things you have to think about. Once again, here I don't have so much movement. We can see how it goes. I just press speed and go on to the next level. I target the mob as soon as possible. I charge. Oh, something else I want to cover, actually, keybinds. Okay, if you will notice on this spec, I have charge on C. I keep charge on C. That is also an annoying mob to keep in mind on this level. If you don't have such a good build, it will spam summon nether walkers. They are basically some void walkers that end up overcrowding you if you don't kill the boss fast enough. Okay, what are we talking about? Yes, keybinds. You'll notice I have charge on C on this spec, but on my main Manastorming spec, I have it on T. Why is this? Well, for one reason, if you're going to be farming a lot of Manastorm, and if you're getting close to 30, your fingers are going to hurt, buddy, trust me. So you really want to make it as comfortable for you as possible to press these buttons as fast as humanly possible. Okay, this is a clutch tip actually for the older audience of Ascension. And for me, the way I did that was optimizing my keybinds a little bit. At least the one that I press the most, which is charge. So I put it on T. Wow, not a huge deal, but you would like honestly be surprised at what difference it makes. My pointer finger hurts way less since I've done this. So I truly recommend thinking a little bit about some comfortable keybinds if you want to go fast. Also, obviously, the closer your movement abilities are, this is a principle I learned in Fortnite, the closer your important abilities are to your movement, to your like actual movement keys, so W, A, S, D, obviously it's much easier for me to move my finger from, I don't know, D to E than it is to move my finger from D to Y, like I have my bomb on Y, because it is not a keybind I use very often. This is a very simple principle, but you should keep it in mind as you're applying it to your play style. If you are doing arena and CC is the most important thing, you want to make sure keybind is on, like CC, your important CC is keybinded in an easy to access spot. If you're doing raiding and you're pressing the same button over and over again, well, I put it on mouse wheel because then I just scroll. and it is the most comfortable. If you're doing Manastorm and the most important or vital ability would be movement, in that case you want to keep make sure you have those well keybound. This is great. I'm making a video while farming Mana Scroll. This is the actual true spirit of Manastorm farming, lads. You have to never stop grinding, okay? That about covers everything I wanted to mention. I wrote it again here on the public guide in our Excel sheet. And obviously, if you guys feel I missed anything, please feel free to leave a comment and I will make sure to add it for everybody to benefit from it. And really, I wanted to leave you in the end with what I think might be the most important piece of advice. Mana Storm, while you might think it's a sprint, is actually really a marathon. The reason being is that to get your build fully locked in, fully optimal, it will take you a long, long, long time. Yes, it is super
I
important
don't
to
have a
learn how
target.
to
I
min-max
need
your
to get
character
closer
and
to
your
the
build no
boss.
matter what level you're on. I am still trying to improve every single day. As long as you keep that mentality of trying to play the game with yourself, to always beat your time, to go a little bit faster. For example, for me, one of the most fun things is trying to beat my record on the Ice Dragon boss. This is the one where you spawn and you have to go down the cave through all the slowing mobs. Send me your best time, guys. I am actually really, really curious. I have a quite unbalanced build for this one because I have also Burning Rush and Hand of Freedom and the Motion Lotion, so I can go really fast without being slowed down. But as I was saying, it's all about a fight with yourself. And for me, that is honestly the fun part. Trying to get better at the game and trying to improve your build, and you get more power, you farm faster, and it all works out in the end. Or we shall see. Who knows? Maybe after, I don't know, 10 more slash blade days of Mana Storm farming, I still don't get my talents. I guess we will see. Thank you for watching, lads. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.